Oh. Art Banaka here. Um, I started doing this live stream earlier, and then my computer started messing up. So I decided to actually use my tablet instead. So it can, I don't know, I guess I can have a better connection or something like that. So hope everybody's doing fine. I'm happy as hell. My birthday's coming up. I'm getting old, man. I'm gonna be 34 in a few days. So yeah, which is good. I had the chance to actually now celebrate my birthday with my family because ever since I've been going back and forth, to the States, I pretty much work in the States, come to Poland for a couple months, go back working in the States again. So I'm all over the place. But anyway, so I did a video. I did a video earlier. Well, it wasn't earlier. It was like a couple days ago, I think. Let me see. When was this video posted? Um, yeah, it was yesterday, I believe. Yeah, I did a video yesterday, and it was titled "Don't Be Bitter, Be Better." And basically, what I stated is trying to be the change that you want to see in the world, right? And too often we actually give in the corruption that we see in the system in government. We know we take the bribe, we take the bribe money, we look the other way because it's not affecting us. But when it comes down to it, when chicken's coming home to roost, and then now we want to scream unfairness, we want to scream injustice, but not realizing that the same thing that we allow to be done to others is actually now sets a precedent so it could be done to us. So hence why I advocate, learn to say no, be the change that you want to see in the world. And therefore, by doing so, you create a ripple effect to which an example where others can actually follow suit. You know, um, I guess the Christ consciousness, some will call it. But anyway, so, and with that mindset, and I believe that's how you can actually able to change the system from within. So I had a comment from one of my subscribers. His name is his handle name is questionable authority, which was a freaking awesome comment, man. So, dude, thanks for commenting. That shit was awesome. So he said, I guess talking about corporation, he said they can survive without us as long as they have government to create laws to give them favors. You're right about changing your way of life, but changing government from within has never worked in the history of the world. Government only wants to grow and gain more control. Less government and more liberty for people is the only answer. If we think, if you think we can attain that from within the system built to grow and gain control/power, please enlighten us. Having no one to rule us other than natural law is the only answer I see to freedom, unfortunately. Again, I love your topics. We are all equal and all have our own personal struggle to get through. So basically, I guess we'll try to, try to find out how can we change the system from within. And see, like this whole enlightenment journey, or some would actually call it being red pilled, or I think African American use the terminology being woke. It's I think we all kind of went through it, and like each journey is personal, right? Because we all started off being curious about something, and then that curiosity, led us to like a rabbit hole, and you just keep digging to the point where like once you come out to the other side and you have a perspective that's like, wow, you know? And so basically my journey, this is how my journey started. A friend of mine, sorry, a friend of mine gave me this DVD, right? And he actually, that was funny because he actually found this DVD on, and you know, as he was throwing away some trash, and then he just saw this shit, and he was like curious. He was like, well, screw it, let me check it out. So he checked it out, and he was like, yo, dude, you got to see this. So I saw it, and then I guess that was like pretty much my first taste of conspiracy theory. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of that movie called Zeitgeist. So watch Zeitgeist, and I had this weird like moment to where I was like, holy shit, that's how the fuck's the financial system works. You know? And hold on a second. Sorry, doggies, you guys gotta get up. Face, yeah, yeah. These freaking dogs, man. But anyway, so yeah, check this out, right? So I learned about that guy, and so that shit it was about religion, monetary system, and then the Twin Tower. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into the whole Twin Tower shit because you got to do your own research about that. So, kurwa, face. Dziękuję. So anyway, so I decided to so me and my girl, we checked it out. And then that was like, that shit brought us like so many freaking questions, man. And the thing about knowledge, right, is like, once you find out about certain things and you think that should be it, but it's not it. Because now, yes, you find some answers, but those answers lead you to like a whole bunch of other questions. And the more questions you have, the more answers you come up with, and the more questions you have. So it's like a never-ending quest to, you don't even know what the fuck you're looking for. That's the beauty of it. And then it's like, knowledge became an addiction for me. So we saw that guy. And then so me and my friends, and then you know my wife, we were just like talking about the shit. I wasn't married at the time, so and then afterward we end up seeing this movie called not Fahrenheit 9/11. We saw that one too. Yep, Sicko, which taught us about the healthcare system and how. So we were like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to Europe. So out of a fucking whim, right? You know, me and my family, we just decided to be like, fuck it. We decided to go to England. Just check it out. Because learning something is one thing, but actually giving the chance to experience it for yourself is totally different. Because I wanted to check out something different than the United States. I wanted to actually experience a different culture because it feels like, what the fuck are we doing there? You know, and that was like right when Obama was about to get elected, 2009. I voted for him, but I didn't even like stick around to see if that's just gonna work out or not. Me and my girl, my daughter, went to England. So got to England and, you know, on the verge of like getting my paperwork shit sorted. So I was like a stay-at-home dad, right? And so me and my girl, right, we became like, we had this addiction for knowledge. Constantly learning shit. We, like anything that we had a remote interest in, we researched that shit. Anything from what you call it, anything from UFO to the planet system, the Sumerian,
Anunnakis.
yeah, the Anunnakis, the dude, you name it. It's,
Every rabbit hole.
it's like it's funny. Like we every time we feel like we run out of something to search, something else come up. We're like, what the hell's the common law shit? We dig into common law, and then we come across like what you call it, like the difference between laws and status and statutes, and how, like, the Moors or people actually when they go to court, and how they actually, like, the legalese aspect of it, and the knowledge is like, it's so freaking immense.
Law of the land versus law.
Yeah, the law of the land versus the law of the sea, and dude, you name it. We study them shit. Look, I was so good when it comes to common law. The whole time I'm not gonna incriminate myself. No.
Bragging gets you in trouble.
Let's just put it that way. I had learned how to use common law to my advantage. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, it's like, it was freaking awesome. It was awesome. It was freaking awesome. But throughout that journey as well, there's one thing I also discovered. It was that when you get into the information vortex, it kind of feels like you experience the seventh stage of death. First you're in denial. Like, I can't believe this shit happens. How many stages there is, I don't know, but it's like you in denial. You can't believe this shit's happened. And then you get angry. You're like, yo, fuck the system, this motherfucker, the whole shit needs to burn, blah, blah, blah. And then you also get into bargaining. You'd be like, well, what if we do this? What if we do that? And we're just like, you try to figure out a solution. That's why I think a lot of people are stuck in this vortex now, whereas like they try to find solution to problem that's like so immense. There's like, you don't even know where the fuck to start. And then you try to come up with compromise. And then from compromise, and then, at the end of the day, you accept it. You're like, well, that's how it is, man. That's how the world always has been. And once you get to the acceptance, the old you die. The person that like, you see the world through a whole different lens. And I don't know, it's like it's like the whole caterpillar transformation to this whole butterfly.
Metamorphosis.
So it's like, now when you're approaching things, right? When you're approaching life, you have these perspective to which, like, you quickly see the patterns. Be like, oh, all right, I recognize it. And then at that time, you don't even get angry no more. It's kind of like when I went to Osha's channel and I talk about me being an interracial marriage, and I talk about my experience. And I saw so much anger, so much hate from people who don't even know me, and I don't even know them. But yet they feel so angry about my choices in life. And it's like, I wasn't mad at it. It was comical to me. But the thing is, like, I look at it from a point where I was like, I understood where they were coming from, why they were so angry. Because they're so angry and so disappointed at their own lives. So now they try to project that anger onto me as if, like, I'm the reason why they are so unhappy. It's the same reason why the poor are so unhappy and so angry at the rich. And the rich are also angry at the poor. Isn't it kind of funny? It's like, these motherfuckers have so much money, but yet they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied because there's something that they don't have, which is like the freedom to be able to just like say, fuck it. Because we don't have nothing to lose. So we can afford to make mistakes. Whereas they have so much to lose that they can't. So because like they are now imprisoned by their own wealth, by their own success. And it's like we always think that the grass is greener on the other side, but it's like it's bullshit. Your life is the only thing you control, dude. Is the only thing you have control over, to which that you can actually make it great or you can make it miserable. You know? And that's why when I think about like the system can change from within, and this is what I mean by that. Because when you find a purpose in life, that brings you fulfillment. And I'll give you an example, right? The Negro Manosphere. That's like part of O'Shea's fulfillment. That's like part of his quest in life. You know, his ability to actually do something for Black men. And that actually brings him so much fucking joy, regardless how much he bitch about it. But you could tell that he put on that responsibility upon himself, and that actually gave him a focus, a drive, to which now he has something to feel like, okay, this is what I was able to contribute to the world. I was here. The Negro Manosphere was there because of me. And that itself right there, like, doesn't matter how much money he made, like he was a millionaire or not, and shit like that. But that itself brings him a level of satisfaction that money can't buy. It's the same thing. Like when you're able to actually, like, you have a family, right? And you raise your kid the right way, and you actually give your kids the tool to which, like, you know that he or she will prosper, go a lot further than you have. That, dude, it brings you so much enjoyment to know that you've succeeded at something, you know? And that's the purpose that I feel like humanity itself had lost. You know, we tend to keep on passing the buck. Like you talk about smaller government means more freedom, which is true. But freedom is not free. Freedoms come with a level of responsibility. And until we actually able to be responsible, to actually able to, you know, as a unit, as a whole, until we able to do that, then the government's not going to let you free, man. It's like your parents. Think of the government as your parents, right? How many times your parents lie to you? The bitch tell you about Santa Claus, you know, Tooth Fairy, a whole bunch of shit. Like, the propaganda is real, dude. You know, do the airplane motion so you can eat your fucking vegetable. That was your parents. Are you gonna, like, you know, kill your mom because she used to lie to you? You know, or your dad? Because if you take over without getting ready, without being, okay, if you become an adult, right, or you take the responsibilities of becoming an adult without you actually understanding the responsibilities of becoming an adult, then you're gonna fail. It's the same thing as a premature revolution. You know, if you say, like, you're so unhappy with the system, you're like, okay, fuck the system, you just crash and burn everything. And then what? I won't be able to talk to you right now and just, you know, having this conversation, because who the fuck's gonna run this whole internet service? Who's gonna run the water supply when everything collapsed? Because you're not ready for it. You wasn't ready to actually have a whole new system to take place of the old one, because you think that it's so easy to destroy, man. It's so easy.
It is.
Like earlier, right? Me and we were doing some renovation in the house, so we were throwing away some furniture, and then I didn't want to carry all this heavy shit, so I grabbed a hammer and just like smash them bitches. It took me like a few minutes, and I had to think about it. I'm like, the amount of time that comes through to create that furniture, like, you know, the right measurement, the right piece of wood, all this shit took time to put together. And I was able to, like, smash it in like 5-10 minutes. Doing the right thing is fucking hard. It is hard. I mean, do you think it's easy to, like, you know, have a family, raise a family, be responsible for a family? No, why the fuck you think a lot of people don't do it? A lot of dudes get a girl pregnant and be like, I don't want to deal with this bitch. And then go on getting the next bitch pregnant, the next bitch pregnant, the next bitch pregnant. And then now we have what we have today in the African American culture. Because it's so easy to get some ass and then, have unprotected sex and shit like that, get a girl pregnant. And then now all of a sudden we realize, oh, this bitch is too crazy for me. Well, she was crazy before you had to deal with her. And that's the thing though, because like when MGTOW, okay, you said that you cannot change the system from within or the government from within. Why do you think Trump got elected? Because there's a growing majority of people that got so tired of this whole censorship shit. That got so tired of the whole PC culture, like, where you have to watch what you say, where, marriage is falling. You have this whole culture of gold digging whores that's taking place, to which, like, okay, a woman can easily accuse you just like that. The whole feminist movement is going astray, and men in general will get tired of this shit. And that also reflects to the mood of the politician that got elected. Because when 10 years ago, Trump wouldn't be able to say half of the shit that he's saying right now. It's because, like, as a whole, Trump is a representation of how the majority of people are feeling this country. To the point where they be like, the fuck you mean I can't say I can't say what I'm thinking? Yeah, this bitch got a fat ass. What, you gonna make me lose my job because of that? Fuck you. And that's the thing, where people are so tired of actually having to beat around the bush. They want to be straightforward, and they actually to be able to speak their mind. That's a level of freedom right there. Just the ability to speak your mind, right? And actually you see that resonate with the candidate that we elected. And think of marriage, right? So we can all agree that the laws of marriage is very unfair, especially when it comes to men in the West. So we have the men right movement that trying to change things from the inside, or that's trying to change things with the lobbying and so on and so forth, and yet they're not getting any play. So what the fuck men start doing? We start going MGTOW, men going their own way, and that itself is actually, it's like a sign of, it's a protest to which men decided to stop valuing sex, and then they actually now holding themselves accountable. So then therefore the women that they're dealing with are the women that are also accountable for their action. So it's like, because of what they're doing, they are now attracting the good women, women of value. That is a way of changing the system from within. You have now the Democratic Party. They're losing motherfuckers left and right. They're losing black people due to the fact that they spent so long on not keeping up with their promises. And people are now fed up. They're like, okay, I'm going to try something new. And now they're not really trying to be democratic no more, because us as people, we realize the corruption that they give us, the bribe, which is the welfare system, was no bribe at all. That was our downfall. That's why there is no family structure, because of the welfare system. So what are we doing? We actually rejected that notion now. We're actually now try to stop that corruption, because it is a sort of corruption. So, sorry. Just the world is, there's always gonna be some fucked up shit. Like, but what we can do is actually learn from history. We learn from history. We should not just look at history as in like, oh, it's a whole bunch of tragedy that occur. And like, we shouldn't be looking at our past as if like that's, everything's bad. Anything from slavery to like, we have to look at how far we've come to be where we are right now. Yeah, slavery sucked. I was never a slave, but god damn, I could imagine. It's like my ancestors, they fought very, very hard. So I'm not a slave. Granted, financially, yeah, you are. But do you really have actually put it this way, right? I understand what you're saying about something. Okay. All right. So I understand what you're saying about the law of the land, right? Or natural law. One of the good person that I've actually studied with natural law is Mark Passio. He actually had a really, really great study about that. I think I don't remember
Which one?
what on earth is happening. Mark Passio.
Yeah.
What on earth is happening. So anyway, so I understand natural law. I get it. But I also understand the tool, how law of the seas also operational. Because let's face it, man, it's too late to go back to gold and silver. I mean, we want to, but the amount of inconvenience, the amount of red tape that would actually have to be placed again if we go back to gold and silver would be fucking immense. Everything would have to slow down. Like say that you bank transaction, a whole bunch of shit, investment, and all this shit would have to come to a collapse. That's what the fuck is gonna happen if we actually implement that natural law and actually discard law of the sea. Which I get it. I understand common law, which is fucking awesome. But the thing about it though is like we are where we are right now due to inconvenience, as well as due to the lack of responsibility. Some of the responsibilities, we wanted to move it away from us. It was like a burden. Same reason why we invented the washing machine or a whole bunch of shit to actually lighten up our loads. But what tends to occur is we have gotten too comfortable and we have become complacent, to which we actually forget about the lessons of the past and we start taking the bribe money. Why the hell you think we don't like the baby boomers? Because we felt like a lot of this shit was happening on their watch. They didn't say anything because the baby boomers were too busy making money. They were too busy.
Credit.
All the whole credit industry and shit like that, right? And now we have this opportunity to make things better. We have this opportunity to actually teach the next generation. We have the opportunity to actually teach ourselves to talk about ideas, man. It's like you and I, we might never be able to actually agree with everything, which we shouldn't. But we can actually discuss our ideas, our perspective, and we get to understand each other to a point where it's like, I can learn from you as well as you can learn from me. And I can learn from white people. I can learn from Asian people. You can learn from everybody. The internet is there to connect us. And the more we try to divide, and that's how government's gonna win. If you don't want big government, then we have to be the one that put on our big boy pants and actually be able to negotiate with the other side, to connect with people, to actually trade with people. Because that's what the government's offering you. The government's offering you security, right? It's offering you, well, if you have a problem, you can call them anytime in the night. Let's say somebody's breaking into your house, you call the cops. All this shit. Do you see ourselves living in the world where we don't need police? Look at Chicago. So until we're able to actually teach each other, to able to communicate with each other, to be civil with each other, then the government's always going to play a part. The system's always going to play a part. because as a whole, we're not mature yet. And it can only get there if we continue to actually talk to each other, if we stop tolerating bullshit. I mean, I know we love to talk about the oppression of Black people or the oppression of Latino, the oppression of immigrants. Everybody is a fucking victim. If we have to first remove the victim mindset, are you willing to actually fight, not just fight for what you believe in, but also able to collaborate with others, to be able to have civil discourse with other people, to not resort to violence? We're still a long way for that. We're still a long way for that. And talking to each other and be a different, I guess, different propaganda tool. Because that's what we are. When you think about it, it's like you have those who seek to control us first have to control your mind. They have to control what you think, what you believe in. And the more me and you having these type of conversation, the more me and you can actually continue to disagree. They can't control us because we're still our own mind. We're still individuals. And now we have to able to have this type of conversation with other people, with your family, with your friends, with your daughter, your son, to teach them to be able to think for themselves. So when they are placed in a position to which that they actually gonna do something just to go with the grain, they can actually have the ability to say, no, this is wrong. That's how you change the world. That's how you change the system from within. You know, I don't want to buy GMO food, but the other food are expensive. I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to plant my own garden. And now, let's say that 100 people start to plant their own garden, or 1,000 people start to plant their own garden. And then, or you have like a person be like, wait a minute, you know, start going through all these homeowners' houses and be like, well, I see you not using your garden. You might actually plant some seed in there, or, you know, you keep some of the ration. And then now this gardener or this farmer, urban farmer, he's able to actually like now have a whole bunch of crops within the urban neighborhood, have his own business. How the fuck Monsanto gonna compete with that? Yeah, they're gonna try to pass laws and shit like that. But if nobody's buying their shit, they're gonna lose. That's what I mean. You first have to change the mind of the people. McDonald's can go out of business tomorrow if everybody stop buying shit from McDonald's. Because they're not forcing you to buy from them. They can only convince you to buy from them. Same thing, your dollar. You vote with your dollar. You vote with your money. These corporations, yeah, they can try to force these government officials to make rules, to make laws that benefit them. But we put them in power. You know, anything from you have your politicians from the mayor to the judges. You elect them, and then you follow their progress. You make sure you encourage them when they actually stuck in a scandal and shit like that, and you know that's bullshit. You support them. You have to be able to back your people up, and that's how you're able to change the system from within. You know, it's like Phil the Advice Show. This is an example, right? Granted, there was a little something that he was dishonest about, but guess what? When it comes down to it, his people should have backed him up, because the amount of good deed that he's done with the platform that he had, people should not have turned on him like that. Too easily, we turn on our own people. We turn on them. Look at Bill Cosby. He spent a good amount of years of his life trying to make sure that African American was not being represented in a bad light in the media. He tried to buy a network. He's trying to do a whole bunch of shit that would benefit Black people. They turned on him as soon as he actually told us something that we didn't want to hear. Pull your pants up. That was a moment that actually, you know, they didn't rock with him no more. So we can change the system, but first we have to change ourselves. First, we have to be able to actually get away from negative people, those who actually only seek the path of destruction, those who actually want to bring you down with them. You let them know, like, I ain't fucking with you. I'm good. I'm all right. You know, learn to discriminate. Yeah, I know it's a bad word. We want to believe that we shouldn't discriminate, but guess what? Every human being discriminate. That's the difference between, you know, that's if you did not know how to discriminate, then you would actually be making friends with the crackheads, with the drug dealers, with people that do nothing but bring you bad, that brings you bad vibe. You have to discriminate. And we are the change, man. It's like, yeah, there will always be some sort of control. There's always going to be that. You're always going to have men that will try to seek control and power and try to dominate others. But as long as there is death, there will always be liberty. Let me say that again. As long as there's death, there will always be liberty. None of these motherfuckers can live forever. You'll try. You gotta die somehow. But ideas are forever. Ideas are bulletproof. That's why they try to censor you. That's why they don't want you to talk, to actually put certain ideas out there. That's why we have the responsibility to change the world based on how we actually, based on our behavior, based on how we actually teach the next generation. Because we're the one that's changing shit. Because of us, less and less people are becoming less racist. Because of us, we start to see each other not as enemies, but as different. But we have so many shit in common. Because of us, so many good things happening. It's because of us, man. Because we have the balls to actually discuss things that are uncomfortable with each other. Whether it's racism, whether it's politics, whether it's whatever the fucking case may be. Dude, because of us, we actually giving black men a better image. Because of O'Shea, he's bringing black people together. Because of Mr. Research, because of Jada Black, because of all these other good YouTubers. Dude, we're the change, man. We're showing people a better way. We are the fathers of the fatherless generation. You know, yeah, we're teaching them about women, we're teaching them about all these devices and all that shit, but they never had a father to teach them that shit, man. They never had a role model. We are the role model, not these fucking rappers. What the hell you think they try so hard to push, like Tekashi 6ix9ine, a whole bunch of fuck dudes in front of us? Because they know they're losing. They know they no longer have a leg to stand on. Why the hell you think they try so hard to censor us? Because we're competing.
People control the narrative.
Yeah, we are the one that's trying to control the narrative now. And they fucking hate it. So we are the change. We are the fucking elite, man. We are the next, we are gonna be the one that's gonna run the next generation. We are the government officials. We are the people that you talk about. So isn't it that be better if we actually now start to create a system from the ground up, and as we elevate each other? Because those who ain't about nothing will never be about nothing. Because they don't give a fuck. But guess what? They have their own place in the system as well. They're gonna be the one filling up the prison. They're gonna be the one working at McDonald's, working the job that they worship. They're gonna be the one doing the desirable shit.
They're also gonna be the one that are gonna keep distracting.
Yeah. But my point is, this is like, we cannot stop them. No, we cannot stop them. We can only change ourselves. And as we change ourselves, the student will find the teacher. You know, like when I wanted to learn about natural law, I came across Mark Passio. When I wanted to learn about spiritualism, I came across there's this book
Well, it
called
was also Mark Passio.
well, yeah, Mark Passio, and then there was
Max Egan.
yep, Max Egan, right? Yep,
Maxwell Egan.
Maxwell Egan. And then when I wanted to learn about philosophy, I came across Peterson, Jordan Peterson. Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. There are so many good teachers out there. When you're ready for them, you'll find them. That's what I mean, man. And I'm not worried about government no more, whether you get big or small, whatever the fucking case may be, because they know they can only push so far until shit hits the fan.
And they don't want it to.
They don't want to listen. In Poland, right? We know these politicians are corrupt, but these politicians, you know what the fuck they will not do? They won't fuck with the people. So so it's like this unspoken rule they have, right? Okay, stay in power, get your little money, just don't fuck with me. And they know it. You don't see, dude, I live in a neighborhood, I barely see a cop car. The people get along, you barely see a fight. And it's just like, they are adult. They know that in order to gain that liberty, they have to do certain things. So then therefore that they can actually be their master of their own domain. So it's like the same thing. If we want less government, we have to actually learn how to govern ourselves.
Amen.
So until you learn to, like when you go to the club and you accidentally step on somebody's shoes, you don't have to worry about getting into a fight or stab or getting shot at. That's how you know you're ready. So our mind, especially in the States right now, it feels like the mind of children. And it's sad, man. It's sad. It's like, I don't want big government no more than you do. But we're looking at D-Train. If you see a cop car, they live there, and it's not normal. What up, D-Train? Yeah, yo. So it's like, dude, if you want less government, right, you have to then be responsible. In the suburb, you don't really see a lot of cop cars, but in the hood, you do, because there's always some fuckery going on in the hood. Why? There's this lack of accountability. There's no discipline, and everything runs on emotion. There's no fathers. We can do better, man. What up, D-Train? Yeah, I'm wondering how you got that name, bro. So, yeah, and as far as wait, let me read so some of the comment that you said. Hold on a second. Changing government has never worked in the history of the world. Changing government from within had never worked in the history of the world. But it's like those who ignore history fail to repeat it.
Are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah. So we have to find out what can we learn from history. I know it's fun. We would like to believe that we don't need a hierarchy, right? But when you look at everything in life, there's a hierarchy in the animal kingdom and the plant system. There's a level of hierarchy. Doesn't mean that, and that doesn't mean that anybody from top to bottom doesn't play a role. And we have to learn the difference between servitude and slavery. Because it's like this, right? The economic system that we have today, right? We could say that we all debt slaves because the money's not real. So we working to pay imaginable debt and there's no end to it, right? But now, without that system, if we had to work with gold and silver, how long you think it would actually take to build all those skyscrapers, those apartment buildings, and all these incentive? So basically, they tricked us by giving us money, a piece of paper that has no value in it, right? So we go to work for that piece of paper every day. Whether, so you build constructions, so you in constructions, you do a whole bunch of shit. I would not want to be, I wouldn't want to be born in the time where they were building a pyramid. Where they actually literally had to put your ass in chain, force you to do a whole bunch of shit that you really have no incentive of doing. For what? What was the purpose of building a pyramid? Right? Well, I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy that goes with that, but I'm just saying, picture yourself as a worker, right? And then they're telling you to build a pyramid. Why? Because I said so. The Pharaoh want us to do it. But why? What the fuck am I getting out of it? So there's really no purpose, right? So that's why you get your ass whooped. But now the motherfuckers okay, the people on top, right? The elite. They're like, wait a minute, we can't keep beating their asses, but yet we still want shit done. Wait a minute, what if we give them some piece of paper, which they can actually, it's like a voucher. They can, they get their food, they get their toys, they get a whole bunch of shit, they buy their car, and they do the work for us for free. Basically, we are working for free. We don't even know it.
For housing, for food, just like
for accommodation, but just like it was back in the days. Mm-hmm. Just like with slavery, they're like, God damn, I have to pay somebody to watch these people. I have to pay somebody to whoop their asses, and I have to feed them. I have to clothe them. Wait a minute. What if I let them go and then I tell them I'll pay them to pick the cotton for me? And boom, slavery was over.
You basically.
That is the equivalent of your parents tricking you to make you eat your salad. So, is it right? No. The road to hell is paying with good attention. A lot of shit that we invented end up killing us at the end. But before it killed us, it benefited the house a whole lot.
That's the purpose, yeah.
Look at before we get to gold to papers to plastic to a chip. Yep. Oh, you heard of
social credit.
You heard of the RFID chip, right? The whole RFID chip, and then you have China and
wait until social credit comes in.
Yeah.
They're trying to use. Some are suggesting carbon is going to be the next currency. It actually, it's interesting.
Dude, it's like the funny thing is currency is always changing, but at the end of the day, though, it's energy. Mm-hmm. The whole world is works on our energy. Because you could invent all those fucking AI in the world, and all that shit, but it's people are the main resources. We are the resources. And they have to find a way to actually make sure that we don't revolt as we continue to do what they want us to do. Mm-hmm. And we carry it around around on our phone willingly. Well, yeah, that's true. We're being tracked. And the thing about it though is it sucks, right? Because you can either remain in the dark ages with the flip phones and all that shit. So
the dark ages with the flip phones.
Yeah, right. So
I thought it was a brick. But okay.
So therefore, you don't get tracked. But then again, you missed out on the YouTube channels. You missed out on a whole lot of shit. So dude, it's very, very, very difficult to actually stay away from the grid. you can go on an island or you can go in the wilderness, build a tent and all that shit. You gotta come down somehow, make some work under the table, get some money, go back in the forest and shit like that. But what kind of fucking life is that? Like, how can you raise a family in that sense? You can't. So, dude, the system is there. Like, you cannot escape it. You can only change it from within. All these people that want to talk about revolution and all that shit, they try to turn off your internet for like a week. See what happened. You had a pager, yo? I don't think I ever had a pager. When I first...
I had one, but I had no idea how the hell it works.
Yo, dude, when I first came to the state, your beeper was so fucking like popular. And that shit, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing beeper for? I don't know, man. It's like, there's like, off the grid is so fucking hard, man. And trust me, I tried to stay off the grid as much as I could. Like, it wasn't until recently I had my first credit card. Everything I used to buy was just cash. Like, I never had to that. And the funny thing about it, like, I'm trying to get a house next year. And now I have to like fix my credit. I'm building my credit right now. So it's like, they make it to a point that is so fucking inconvenient to try to be off the grid. I can work my ass off trying to buy a house in cash, but people are looking at me like, "Oh, you're a fucking drug dealer." That's the
IRS is
that's the first sign the IRS is gonna be on your ass and shit like that, right? So, dude, big government versus small government. It's small government can only happen if we have to show a level of decorum. We have to show that we're fucking adult, not the bullshit that's going on in Chicago. In order for you to have that, you got to be responsible.
Otherwise, you just create a power vacuum.
Yeah. You have a revolution right now. All you're going to end up doing is create a huge power vacuum. I'll tell you something, right? Like, in Haiti, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Papa Doc, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys used to ever heard of Papa Doc, right? Papa Doc was a dictator in Haiti, and I think United States controlled Haiti from 1915 to 1935. And then before they left, they created a system to which that would actually benefit them. So they placed their puppet and all that shit. And then, as they usually do every time they actually leave a country, after they colonize the country. So anyway, so when Papa Doc came to power, all right, so he knew that the people, the army was actually really being sponsored by the state. So he couldn't really do what he needed to do in order to control the presidency, because he knew that he did not want to be a puppet of the United States. But he knew that if he actually acted in a way that he wouldn't get overthrown by the army. So what he ended up doing is actually created like this whole divide and conquer. He actually let the people compete with each other. It's like, I'll let the corruption goes through. And as they're competing for power within themselves, he created a whole new force called Totomaku. So these fools were too busy competing with themselves when they didn't realize that this motherfucker was creating a force that would actually be like a counterbalance against the army itself.
Like Pookie and Rere is a distraction for the government.
Exactly. So now once he was able to create that force, and then so he now has some trumped up charges on some of the government officials and actually killed them. So he got rid of the competitions. So now he was able to control the army as well as both army, his personal guard as well as the army. And then he actually put a whole he put several classes, like the middle class, the working class. He actually was able to, he gave them a leverage so they can actually rise into power. So then therefore they become loyal to him. So now and he did not want to piss off the United States. So he kind of worked with them as well. Be like, all right, well, I still control the country, but if anything you need, you have to come through me now instead of coming through the army. So he created a system to which that even though he was the dictator, but everything works, right?
There's
And then
plenty of countries that do that.
So after he died, his son took over, but his son was not as clever as his dad. And then that's how now the states now was able to actually infiltrate back into the army, and actually now they overthrown Baby Doc and all that shit. But after Baby Doc left, right, there was this huge power vacuum to which now every, like, let's say you would have an election, you have and then like a year or two later you would have a coup d'etat. So it's like that shit was happening for like so many years, so many bloodshed, like thousands of people died. And you could see the damage is still left today in Haiti, to which now it's like you would have a president, and before he actually even able to accomplish anything in the country, he gets kicked out. So it's the same thing.
Distrust, is it?
If you're gonna try to fuck up the system and you don't have anything else in place, then all you're gonna do is actually leave a huge power vacuum, and that shit is gonna like take a long ass time before it recovers. Remember how long it took before those kings back in the days would kill nephews, brothers, family, looking over their shoulder. Yep, exactly. I mean, look what happened after Rome fell, right? After the fall of the Roman Empire, there was a huge power vacuum. And like you said, these motherfuckers, they kept killing each other in Europe, all in the name of, try to maintain that throne.
Trying to take the throne.
Yeah. Try to keep that shit. And it's the same thing. Like, we think that I kind of laugh at these fucking, those pro-black leaders. These motherfuckers that want to tell you that, well, we got to take over the white man. We got to do this. We got to do that. And do you really trust these motherfuckers? Look at Brother Polite. Yeah, like the Roman Empire, the Visigoth didn't know how to keep up with the water system. Yeah, that's true. So you gotta be able to actually create a system within that system so much that the old one becomes obsolete. And all that shit starts with the idea. We have to start with ourselves. We have to be able to teach the next generation how to be better people, how to actually see through the propaganda of divide and conquer. Starts with us, man. Shit.
Gotta build instead of destroy.
Yeah. All right. I've been going on long enough, man. So, Big D, thanks for comedy, my dude. And questionable authority. That was an awesome question. Well, that was an awesome comment. I didn't even expect to go that long. But yeah, it's Art Banaka. I'm out of here, guys. So, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this podcast. All right. And subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.
And share.
Oh, yeah. Share that shit. Yeah, that's my girl in the background right now. Right.
Hello.
Say what up. Don't be shy now.
I'm always shy.
Now you shy. Yeah, we'll give you some of that shy.